Welcome to Watercolor Lessons with Kathy. I'm Kathy Nichols, and I'm a lifelong artist, painter, and teacher. I help students of all ages tap into their creativity with watercolor. Watercolor is a great way to express yourself, and it's easy to get started and fun to do. My watercolor lessons are designed for beginners of all ages. No theory and not too technical. Just follow along with me. I hope you join me to learn how to paint with watercolor. I can't wait to see your paintings. Welcome to the first lesson in our cat series. Siamese cats have beautiful colors and markings. Today, we'll paint a pretty chocolate point kitty. We'll use one brush, 4 paints, and 2 techniques. To better enjoy the lesson, you may wish to use the same materials as I do. Watch my video, Best Materials for Beginning Watercolor, to see where to get them. The link to the video is in the description and in the corner of the screen. Be sure to check below for more useful information and links. Let's paint! Let's get started. Take your spray bottle. Spray your pans of paint here. Put some water in your pellet. And in this lesson we use a template. And here is my template. Take your liner brush. Load it with some ochre. And outline your template. All right. And then take your brush and we're going to let's soften the lines on the outline here. Looks like my brush is dirty, so I'm going to use the water and clean it out. The Siamese cat has some very distinct colors. And you want to always remember with watercolor to start light to the dark. So let's take your liner brush and load it with some burnt umber. Now, the ears are dark, so let's start with that part here. It comes a little down here on the face. And there's the ears right here aren't totally dark. We want to leave some white space. Like so. So let's bring some of that burnt umber color down in the face here. And there's a little bit, you maybe want to make some streaks, not a solid black color. And then start carrying it up to the other ear here. And again, there's some light in this ear. So you don't want to fill in the whole ear. And then bring the color further down. Okay. Now, let's outline the eyes of the cat. And they are about right here below the ear. And they're about that size. And then go on the other side. There's the ear. Load your brush as needed. So go down and then line it with the other shape of the eye. Like so. Then carry this color, burnt umber, down here. And go around that, the shape of the eye that you outlined. And we're just starting to do a faint part of the face here, and then come around on the other side. It's a little too faint. I need to load my brush. You want to be able to see what you're doing, so if it's too faint, you need to darken it a little bit. And then let's carry that color down to here. Here's the nose. And then the face, and there's the bottom of the chin. And carry that color out on the cheek here. When you make your template, you probably will have a photograph, and you will want to put that on the side to just refer to. Not that we're copying it, but we're just referring it to for the colors and the shape of the cat. And so I have mine over off to the side here, and if you see me looking, it's just to check the colors and the shape. Okay. Now let's continue down towards the body. The Siamese cat is not totally white, so we will be using some of this burnt umber to make a faint kind of brownish light tan color. So go ahead and load your brush, and if it starts out dark, that's okay. You can take some of the, dip your liner brush in the water there and thin it out. And there's a little definition here where the leg starts. And I'm going to add some of that light color there. And then bring it down this way, down the back. Now, when it gets close to down here, there's the tail. And on the Siamese cat, the tail is dark brown to black. So load your liner with a burnt umber, and the tail starts about right there. And we're going to curl this around. Like that. And we will go back later to darken it. Then go ahead and take your liner brush, and on the bottom part where the leg is, there's a little darkness. So I'm going to add some of that color of the burnt umber faintly in here to add some definition. And carry that a little bit here. Okay, that's good for a start. Now let's take time and do a dry. We will be working on the eyes, and we want to make sure the paper is dry because we don't want the paint to run. Okay. Now with the liner brush, for the eyes, they're really a nice blue, bright blue. So clean your brush. You can always check it on your paper towel if it's clean enough. And we will be using we will be using the ultramarine, the intense blue. I had to think a minute there what the color was. And you can start out strong, and where you put the shape of the eyes, you want to make a circle. Like so. Just gonna make it a little bigger. That's better. Okay. And if part of it is too dark, you can just take your brush and wipe some of that paint off if you think it's too dark where it's needed. Okay, now you will want to dry that area. And you can touch it to test it if you really want to make sure that it's dry. If you end up getting paint on your finger, you know it's not dry, and you can just repaint it and dry it again, or just add more paint to the spot you touched, because it will lift that paint off the paper. Okay, so now for the face, we want to darken this area. So use with your liner the burnt umber, and let's go in here around the face. And come down to the bottom part here, and this is where part of the nose, and you will want to leave a light spot there. Now up here there's a little light shining, and it has a yellowish tint to it. So take your liner brush and add some ochre up here on the ear. Carry it further down. Kind of make strokes like that to create kind of the concept of the fur. And load your brush as needed. Now we're going to use some of that ochre and carry that color down through this way, down through the body. Again, you want to kind of make strokes like that to create the fur look to it. Again, if it's too bright in color, you can add water to it and dilute it. And you can even let some of it, the paint spread. It kind of gives it a nice effect. And then come down here where the leg is. this way. Okay, let's stop and give this a good dry. Okay, sticking with our liner brush here, I see this part needs to be smeared a little, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so now let's work on the face here. So as I look at this painting, I see the face is not quite right. I need to bring this brown here out a bit more. So that color, the color I used was a burnt umber. That looks better. So let's carry that color onto the other side here, so to make it the same color. Carry the color around the eye here. I see this isn't quite dark enough. Okay, sometimes it's nice to go to another part of the painting and kind of give that some dry time. So let's work on the tail down here. The tail of the cat is much darker. So load your liner with burnt umber. And to make that even darker, let's add a touch of the intense blue. And then about right there, the tail starts to fade out a little bit. And right there, I'm going to switch to adding a little ochre. Clean your brush. And add some ochre right here and let it blend in with the brown that you have there. Like so. And you can even put some along here, like there's stray hairs, like so. Okay. Cleaning my brush and loading my liner with straight burnt umber. And going to the ears here. But before I do that, see there's a spot that kind of tweaked out. And I need to mix it more. Sometimes with watercolor you'll get water spots and you don't see it until a few minutes after you have painted it. But it's easy to go back and fix it by lifting it out with your paper towel or just adding more paint and blending it so there's not a blank spot there. Okay. So let's work on the ears of the cat. And make them darker. And then right here there's some light that hits the cat's ears, and I'm going to leave it light. And then bring the brown back down here. Like so. And the brown here can even go a little further down on the face, I think. Like so. Then let's go to the other side of the ear. Again, there's some light spots there. And actually, I'm going to go back a little bit later and put some white whiskers. Then bring that color down here. Like so. And I see that there's a white spot here that I need to cover up for now. And I'm going to go back in to the face and darken the color, but we need to dry first. I need to dry it first to get that, to work on getting the layer to a darker color. sticking with our liner brush, let's make that dark mixture of burnt umber and some intense blue. And you can test it on your paper towel there. And it's turning a little green. So we're going to switch and mix the burnt umber with the ultramarine blue. And that is more of a dark black color. Now, the cat has a black slit on the eye. So you want to do that on each of the eye there. And let's fill in some of the dark around the eye with that color. And then put some above. Leaving some of the lighter brown showing there. Going down below here. And on the side of the nose, there's a little light that is shining on the cat's nose. So I'm leaving a white spot on purpose. You might think that was a mistake, but it's not. Now, let's carry some of that color on the ears. And I'm not covering up all the brown. I want to leave some of that lighter brown showing. Come around this way. Now let's go back down on the tail and use some of that color. And the cat will have some of that dark color a little bit by the bottom here. If it's too bright, you can kind of water it down. And then you can take another dark layer, add another layer to the tail here with that same color of burnt umber and ultramarine blue. Like so. Now let's give it a good dry. Now we'll add the whiskers, and we're going to use a white, and we'll do that with a liner brush. There's a lot you can do with a liner brush. It's amazing. And you don't want it super wet, just almost damp. And then work the paint into it. So to get the whiskers, we want the paint to be more on the dry side versus a wet. I need to wet the paint here a little bit. Okay. So on the ears, there's some whiskers, just some slight little whiskers. Like that. Might be hard to see, but it adds a nice little touch. Now, the whiskers will show up on the face here, and they're about right here. You just a couple. Like that. And there we have our Siamese cat meowing away. And I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I sure did. And see you next time. I enjoyed painting with you today, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'd love to see photos of your creations. You can email them to me at the address on our YouTube About page. To suggest something you'd like to paint, please let me know in the comments. To give watercolor a try, please subscribe to my channel and take a lesson or two. Take care, be safe, and see you soon.